Hi， 呢度係畢無正業。最近我有個好好嘅朋友送咗我人生第一個 cassette player 俾我。呢樣嘢其實之前去嗰啲黑膠唱片店啊，經過見到呢，其實都已經好想試下玩，已經好中意。但係自己一路都唔捨得買啦，亦都深知呢個係一個坑啦，就正如 mechanical keyboards 啊，正如菲林啊咁樣。而家播緊嘅就係佢送俾我嘅一餅 cassette 啦，係 rubber band 嘅抄。唔知點解半夜第一次用個 cassette player 去播呢首歌，比起平時聽再多咗一份感觸。我諗中意呢啲咁 analogue 嘅嘢係有一類人嘅，而我諗 acknowledging privilege 係重要嘅，唔係話啲咩好誇張嘅 privilege， 純粹係起碼叫做唔憂三餐先啦，先至會有呢啲咁嘅所謂 extra money 去花費喺呢啲係好多人眼中 unnecessary 嘅嘢。我未必可以 speak for the others 啦，亦都唔會嘗試啦。但係我諗 for 我自己嚟講，我有個 tendency 會中意啲比較 analog 嘅嘢，可能可以 summarize 為，因為我覺得呢啲嘢好實在同埋好 deliberate， 即係例如影菲林咁樣，我會覺得由揀菲林嗰下啦，咁你會 consider 今日天氣點樣，陽光點樣啦，慢慢捲入部機度，然後你每影一張相，唔似 digital 咁樣可以 continuous shooting 嘅喎，一夜連拍8-9張咁樣。菲林你係真係會擺多一份心思熟慮喺度，真係攞啱個角度，攞啱個陽光，你想達到嗰種效果先至撳嗰個快門。咁呢個過程對我嚟講其實係好 deliberate， 係一種我接受嘅 mindfulness 嘅形式咁樣咯，可以咁講。好似嗰一刻個世界都會停咗落嚟，剩翻你 frame 入邊嗰個世界咁樣。咁至於 cassette， 其實我都係用咗1個禮拜都未夠啦，但係我好享受佢陪我翻工嘅嗰段路。我呢3個月喺啟德嗰邊翻工啦，咁而每一朝我都要由牛頭角地鐵站行大概3個字度先去到目的地啦。咁中途其實你話真係後生嘅真係古怪，點解有 iPhone 真係可以插住耳機咧 Spotify 揀任何嘅歌，點樣 shuffle， 點樣下一首跳嚟跳去都得。quality 又好啲，即係點會係叫做倒退翻去到 cassette， 即係啲聲又沙啊，又冇得直接跳到去下一首歌啊。咁但係對我嚟講最 enjoyable 嘅就係一嚟你唔會係揸住部手機喺手入邊，而家可能有啲 hard to imagine，but there was a time when 唔係所有嘢所有 app check 時間又係用手機 text 人又係手機影相又係手機，即係呢個係一個好好嘅一個 technological advancement。但係個 drawback 就係可能喺揀歌嘅時候聽歌嘅時候會見到有 message 彈出嚟，會碌下 IG 咁樣。cassette player 就唔會咯。咁第二樣嘢就係都係嗰個 making deliberate choices 呢一樣嘢。由我入餅 cassette 落去，我嗰朝翻工，我未出門口，我揀我想帶呢餅或者呢兩餅出街聽。咁 for the rest of my journey， 我就會係 enjoy 緊呢個 soundtrack 咯。我諗對 artist 嚟講，其實都有佢 beautiful 嘅地方，就係聽嗰個人會 more likely 順序去欣賞晒成個 album 或者成個 track list。And when you have so much power over what you consume, when you consume it, how you consume it， analogue 對我嚟講係真係有一種好無可取替嘅角色。2023年對我嚟講其實都真係幾 It started off quite wonderfully。 For 個 podcast 嚟講，亦都係因為我個 year-end episode 先至喺度講話我哋一年先 upload 得嗰2集，但係 within the first 2 months of 2023我哋已經有一個 bolus of episodes which 其實都唔係 to 我嘅 credit， 因為我只係錄咗1集啫，而我嘅朋友就幫我錄多咗2集啦。咁呢3集嘅 year-end episodes 啦，咁其實我好感激佢哋嘅 sharings 嘅，其實因為一嚟我自己真係好中意聽佢哋嘅分享啦，而亦都好 inspired by 佢哋嘅諗法啦。二嚟其實要錄1集 podcast 呢一件事係真係一啲都唔容易。首先你要有咁嘅勇氣去 be completely honest with 你嘅 thoughts 啦，你想講嘅嘢啦。It's always scary to put things onto the internet which will stay forever 二嚟即使你有呢個勇氣啦，it still takes a lot to actually 坐低去做呢件事。你要 draft 你嘅諗法啦，你要錄啦，哇，錄呢 part 真係你要有一個 private 啲嘅空間啦，冇太多雜音嘅空間啦，然後你就要坐低對住支咪講嘢。其實我哋3-4個都發現到嘅嘢就係要自己一個人錄一集，其實真係好有難度，對比起同人就有一個 organic 嘅 conversation， 因為 it's almost like 你要俾一個 speech， 即係你要 hold 到自己嘅呢一個思路 without 有任何人去俾 response 你啊，去 move the conversation along 啊。咁其實長遠嚟講，我哋都希望喺呢個 platform 度係可以做到一個頭先所講嘅 organic 嘅 conversation， 因為我哋都好相信一樣嘢，就係 the power of having conversations 同埋 the importance of having conversations。無論係啲好 light-hearted 嘅，即係可能好似電影啊，你中意聽咩音樂啊，又或者關於我哋嘅工作啊，去到一啲比較 difficult 啲嘅 conversations， 例如 grief、processing grief， 例如 trust， 例如 religion 等等。咁 ultimately， 我諗就好似 juniper 喺佢嗰集咁樣講啦 ，there's value and beauty in finding solace in each other's experience， 同埋可能有過嘅一啲諗法。而呢樣嘢其實我係 saying by experience 嘅，因為當我哋 upload 完呢3集，我係有 get 到唔少嘅 feedback from 你哋 ，and it always means so much to know that 我哋 reach out 到 to 你，或者 touch 到你，或者 inspire 到你 in any kind of way。好多謝你哋嘅時間 ，I'm always so grateful that 你會花你嘅時間撳入嚟聽我哋呢一個小小嘅 podcast。而我亦都希望我哋可以繼續透過呢個平台做到我哋想做嘅嘢 which is mainly to create 一個 space for conversations and comfort。 講起 conversations， 我最近再次發現其實寫信呢一個 format 我係幾中意嘅。其實唔係啲咩新嘅發現嚟嘅，因為之前我直到而家啦，我一路都好中意睇一個 YouTube channel 叫做 Vlog Brothers 啦，咁主要就係 John Green 同埋 Hank Green 兩兄弟互相 make 一啲 weekly videos 係 addressed to each other 嘅。就咁好快咁樣俾少少 background 啦。John Green 係一個作家啦，咁而佢嗰陣時寫其中一本好出名拍埋做電影嘅一本書叫做 The Fault in Our Stars 啦，咁而佢亦都係 run 一個 podcast 叫做 The Anthropocene Reviewed 啦，咁之前我喺其中一集都有睇到過嘅。而 Hank Green 就係佢都有寫書嘅，不過我諗佢 more well known for 佢係 YouTube 開嘅 Crash Course 系列啦。咁而兩兄弟都好熱衷於做一啲 charity work 嘅，例如 John Green start 咗一個 project 係去 support maternal health in Sierra Leone 嘅，咁而佢哋亦都有個 project 叫做 Project for Awesome 啦，咁其實就係一個 community driven 籌錢 for charities 嘅一個活動咯。咁個宗旨就係用翻佢哋自己嘅字眼啦 to decrease the overall level of world suck。 咁翻去個 letter format 啦，我已經 digress 咗。我之所以話最近再次 discover 咗呢一個書信形式嘅美麗之處，主要係因為 Jen 介紹咗一個 YouTube channel 俾我睇啦，咁就叫做 Letters Live。咁嗰啲 videos 主要係揾一啲明星 live 咁樣喺台上邊去朗讀一啲書信啦，一啲其他人自古以嚟寫過嘅一啲信，唔一定係出名嘅人寫嘅，可能係一啲 day-to-day general public 寫嘅信，佢哋都有讀嘅。例如我聽過 Benedict Cumberbatch 朗讀一封信，係一個被一間酒店 ban 咗 for life 嘅一個住客，過咗18年之後寫俾嗰間酒店嘅一封求情信啦。咁故事好搞笑，咁而 Benedict 亦都讀到好風趣啦。Without spoiling the story too much, it involves an entire flock of seagulls 飛咗入間酒店房度啦。咁 at the same time 我亦都聽過咁啱都係 Benedict Cumberbatch perform 嘅，讀嘅嗰封信係1969年，當大家未知道 Apollo 11係咪真係安全咁樣登陸咗月球之前，當時嘅 presidential speechwriter 寫嘅一封信 which was meant to be read on TV by 當時嘅 President Nixon 啦 if confirmed 咗啲太空人係唔會返到地球㗎啦咁樣。
These brave men, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin, know that there is no hope for their recovery, but they also know that there is hope for mankind in their sacrifice. In ancient days, men looked at the stars and saw their heroes in the constellations. In modern times, we do much the same.
咁 to accompany 呢封信，當時佢哋亦都請咗一個 musician 喺個 Royal Albert Hall 嘅 organ 上面演奏 Hans Zimmer 為 Interstellar 寫嘅其中一首歌啦，叫做 Cornfield Chase。咁成件事其實真係好震撼同埋好觸動到人心。
For every human being who looks up at the moon in the nights to come will know that there is some corner of another world that is forever mankind.
可能講得有啲遠，但係我諗書信嘅特別之處或者美麗之處就係除咗 the fact that it's always addressed to 一個 specific person 或者一個 specific audience 之外，所以你寫嘅嘢好多時都可以比較 personal 啦，比較直接，比較 honest。It's also the time it takes to 真係將你嘅諗法同埋你想講嘢去寫低。The fact that someone had to take the time to sit down, to think, to write, to edit, all this addressed to 一個 specific someone， 可能觸動到我個位都係好似頭先啱啱講關於 analogue things, like I think it's the deliberation 同埋心思。畢竟講嘢好容易，你唔使諗太多，但係 when you write someone something, when 呢啲咁 specific 嘅 words and phrases get written down and directed to somebody， 我覺得 I think there is much value in that。 咁嚟緊下一集其實我會同 Jen 一齊錄一集，應該幾好玩嘅，主要係講電影。咁啱 timing 上有幾好，即係啱啱過咗 The Oscars， 同埋 it's super interesting how 當我哋傾緊即係電影呢一集想講咩嘅時候，其實我最想講呢就係 Everything Everywhere All at Once 啦。咁而佢想講嘅就係 Tar。呢兩出咁啱係今屆嘅 Oscars 裏邊其中最 strong 嘅 contenders 啦 ，for Best Picture 啊 ，Leading Actress 啊。咁我諗大家都知最後嘅結果係點啦。It was all over the media。我呢一刻唔 comment 太多啦，我諗我留翻下一集再同 Jen 一齊講。我只能夠話 Everything Everywhere All at Once 我 definitely 好中意噶啦，但係 Tar 我睇嘅時候其實都係一出好值得回味嘅電影嚟嘅，同埋 it really has something to say and 我唔會 hesitate 去翻轉頭睇多佢一次。咁當然 Cate Blanchett 嘅 performance 就唔使多講啦。咁除咗真係講呢兩套戲之外啦，希望亦都可以 touch on 到少少關於 more general things about movies 或者 cinema， 包括對我哋而言究竟 what makes a movie a good movie 呢？點樣去衡量一套戲嘅 value 呢？等等咁，非常期待。呢一集我同 Jen 講，我都係想自己錄一集先 ，just to wrap up 我哋呢一個所謂嘅 year end series 啦。因為其實當我 edit 緊嘅時候 ，Juniper 當時同我講話 ，Hey，I think it would be quite cool if you did a response to 我嘅 episode， 因為畢竟 again about having conversations and 俾 feedback for each other。其實 Juniper 嗰集佢都有唔少嘅地方係有回應我講嘅嘢喺我嗰集度，因為佢都好睇重就係聽完我嗰集有冇啲咩去 build on 我所講嘅嘢，又或者係叫做 inspired by 我哋 touch upon 嘅 issues 啊 topics 啊，而引申出去再去 share 一啲佢嘅諗法或者 ideas。咁我覺得呢樣嘢我自己都好睇重，同埋係一件好 organic 嘅事嚟嘅。所以我諗呢一集可以話係一個 response to Juniper 嗰集啦。我自己好似我出 post 嘅時候咁樣寫，其實我都好 inspired by 佢個分享。我聽咗佢個 audio 大概10零分鐘，我就忍唔住去咗睇 euphoria 佢提到嗰一集 Trouble Don't Last Always。而我聽完 Juniper 嘅分享，我亦都的確有啲嘢係想再 elaborate 多少少，再分享一下我嘅諗法，無論係 to 佢或者 to 我哋嘅聽眾啦。So I guess it's appropriate to start 呢個 main bulk of 我嘅 episode with Dear Juniper。首先其實我好想多謝 Juniper for 佢嘅 vulnerability。It's never easy to admit 又或者 accept 自己嘅一啲 vulnerabilities，let alone 喺一個 public 嘅 platform 上邊。One of the first things that Juniper 講關於 euphoria 就係 It is a show that literally saved her life。 早前我喺 Instagram Stories 嗰度問過一個問題，就係如果你可以揀任何一套劇嘅任何一集去 rewatch on 一個 regular Sunday， 你會揀邊一集呢？其實呢個唔係一個 hypothetical question 嚟，呢個係我當時一個 actual question， 因為我嗰陣時有等緊小巴。And at that point, I felt music wasn't enough， and 我想 jump into 一個 episode 裏邊咧，一個 isolated standalone 嘅一個世界裏邊啦。And 我係有一個答案嘅。Without elaborating too much， 我嘅答案其實係 bojack horseman 嘅 either season 3 episode 4 fish out of water 啦，或者 season 5 episode 6 free churro，which is definitely 一個 fan favorite 啦，同埋 I've seen loads of videos 係去 analyze 呢一集，即係點解個 monologue was so good，how 呢一集 depict 咗一種好 complex 嘅 grief you feel towards somebody who you may not necessarily be on the best terms with while that person was alive. I think it's really interesting how we both found the right show at the right time， 因為 what Juniper said about euphoria I could easily say about bojack horseman。 我今集唔會講太多 about 呢個 show 啦，而我亦都好彩認識身邊有人都非常之中意，又或者應該話係好 deeply impacted by bojack horseman as I am， 咁所以我諗可以留翻遲啲先再講。但係因為其實 euphoria 我從來都未有機會去睇嘅，即係 even till now 我都淨係睇咗 Juniper 講過一集啫。但係我發覺兩個 show 係有好多好 striking 嘅 similarities， 包括可能 touch upon substance abuse 啊、personal growth 啊，同埋你個 journey 啊 ，all the struggling， all the barely staying afloat。I do think the best movies 同埋 TV shows 又或者 art in general 都係 the honest ones。And the honest ones 嘅共通之處做到嘅嘢就係佢哋成功刻畫到人嘅好多 facets， 即係 to paint them, to depict them as very three-dimensional beings, never entirely good or bad, but complex 同埋 ever-changing, because that's what humans are, and that's what life throws at you, things that challenge your moral compass 同埋 values 同埋逼住你去成長 and evolve。咁翻去 Juniper 分享嗰集 Euphoria 啦，叫做 Trouble Don't Last Always。 我諗 the major takeaway that really stuck with me 係 the power of conversation 啦， the power of empathy and the power of redemption。 Conversation 我諗我唔再 elaborate 太多，頭先個 intro 我都花咗唔少時間去 elaborate on why conversation is important, how we find conversation important。 但係 just to elaborate 多少少，Ever since 我哋啱啱 upload 嗰3集，其實有唔少嘅聽眾都有 reach out to 我哋啦，然後我發覺有時有啲嘢真係攞出嚟講就已經足夠啦，已經好好嘅，即係唔使話要有啲真知灼見，又或者好似即係我好 harsh 咁樣，可能要求要有好多或者 at least 少少嘅 added value 咁樣先去講先至有意思。其實唔係，因為例如有聽眾 message 過我哋咁就話聽你哋之前講工作嗰集喎，即係講緊工作嘅意義啊，去 question 自己嘅人生方向啊。原來聽嗰集我同 Francis 都冇乜 prep 過嘅一集，純粹係 thinking out loud， 互相去分享自己喺嗰個人生階段嘅一啲諗法。原來就咁兩個人坐低傾呢樣嘢已經可以 bring 到 solace to a third party。 個聽眾話我聽嗰集好舒服啊，因為我發現原來唔係得我有呢啲諗法或者 struggles 嘅，原來大家都會有呢啲煩惱，會有呢啲困惑嘅時候㗎喎。咁呢個亦都正正係 Euphoria 呢一集所 depict 到嘅嘢，因為佢成集基本上個 setting 就係 Rue 同埋 Allie 坐咗喺個 diner 度傾偈咯， that's it。而呢個就好似 Allie 喺套劇裏邊咁樣講 You've got to believe in the value of two people sitting in a diner on Christmas Eve talking about life, addiction, loss。 呢個亦都係我長大咗先學識嘅嘢嚟嘅。I don't think I've ever been 一個好 frank 嘅 extrovert 啦，但係 somehow 人越大越發現 the value and beauty in just meeting up with people who would spare the time 去真係約出嚟坐低傾偈。I think conversations, honest conversations, are really powerful, and I'm always in awe of what open and honest conversation can bring. 無論係 spark new ideas 啊 又或者真係好似頭先咁講 just finding solace in each other's company. It's a really good exercise in cultivating empathy and extending empathy to 我哋嘅 fellow human beings. Speaking of empathy, 呢個係我嘅第二個 major takeaway from 呢一集啦。I feel this is ultimately what I love most about movies, about theatre, about books. 喺 Euphoria 呢一集其實 it's obvious that 無論係 Rue 又好 Ali 又好 they're both so flawed and they've both made their fair share of mistakes in life. 其中一個 Juniper 有提到嘅點就係 it really challenges how far 我哋可以 extend 我哋嘅 empathy. 例如 towards drug addicts. 呢個其實我喺現實生活中都有親眼目擊過，就係一啲stigma towards drug users 好常見嘅，例如嗰陣時我喺大人嘅 medical ward 度做 horseman 咁樣啦。其實我諗喺任何大人病房都總會有機會遇到一班所謂 frequent flyers 嘅，即係成日入院嘅。咁其中有 group 就係啲吸毒嘅人啦。我見過好多唔同嘅醫護，其實對住呢班人係會抱都幾唔同嘅意見嘅。喺一個咁高壓面對住咁多 acute 病人嘅一個 setting， 一班 borderline burnout 嘅醫護，其實 empathy is difficult in 呢啲 settings。 我聽過唔少醫生嘅諗法係，喂，咁如果連呢個人自己都唔想救自己或者幫自己嘅話，咁 why should I care? Why should I even try? 即係假設我今次 extend 咗我嘅 medical help 又或者 empathy 啦，其實佢都唔 willingly receive， 其實佢都唔想。你 discharge 咗佢，佢又係會 go back to 佢自己嘅 bad habits。但係我幾中意 Ali raise out 嗰個 point about drug addicts, about how it's a disease。呢個可能有啲難去真係完全接受，因為就好似精神病咁樣，我相信即係無論 for drug addict 又好，一啲可能 depression 啊 anxiety 呢一啲精神病又好 somehow 喺我哋眼中都as if 你係可以有一個 element of control over 嘅，即係唔似你斷咗隻手或者即係例如盲腸炎咁樣先算。我諗我未聽過有人真係好 blame 嗰個 patient 話oh it's your fault you chose to 點點點，但係 for drug addicts 同埋 psychiatric illnesses 個 stigma 係好真實地存在嘅。This is not to say that drug addicts 係話我應該 like welcome them with open arms and 同佢講 hey it's okay it's completely not your fault it's a disease. The thing about empathy 就係你可以 step 到 into 嗰個人嘅 shoes and 你可以 go through all the motions the mental exercise of 想像 if I were in 佢個 place 究竟我會點 react， 你究竟我會唔會真係 100% 肯定我唔會 make 呢個 decision 呢？ given 嗰個人嘅 socio-economic status 啊，面對緊一人生考驗啊，Am I immune to 一啲 moments of weakness 又或者一啲 coping mechanisms 呢？有好多我中意睇嘅戲其實都有好多呢一啲 imperfect 同埋好 flawed 嘅 characters that really challenge 究竟我可以有幾 empathize with 呢一個咁 shitty 嘅 character。 例如最近睇嘅 Tar 啦，其實 Lydia Tar 係個導演好明顯有個 stance 嘅 towards 佢點樣睇呢個人，即係 he doesn't try to hide 又或者 gloss over 佢一啲 flaws。咁但係 the exercise of empathy 就係 to understand where she came from and where she is coming from。 佢究竟個人嘅 values 係乜嘢 and where did it go wrong， 即係有時係難嘅。我記得有一集 Black Mirror 叫做 Shut Up and Dance 啦，由一開始我哋就跟住個 protagonist 啦，發現佢俾人 blackmail 喎，因為有個 hacker 錄低咗啲 footage of 佢 masturbating to something on 佢個 laptop 啦。咁 throughout 成個 large chunk of 個 episode 你會好自然咁樣 side 咗 with 個 protagonist 嘅，即係你會覺得佢 masturbate 係咪真係咁 unforgivable 咧？點解佢咁慘要俾人 blackmail and 逼佢做埋晒啲好佢唔想做嘅嘢咁樣？但係去到最後佢個 twist 其實就係原來呢個 protagonist 係 masturbating to child pornography。咁 that was when 你 as the audience 係 directly challenged to 檢視你嘅 empathy 究竟可以去到邊，即係 OK 你 masturbate to pornography fine I still feel bad that you're being blackmailed， 但係原來呢個人係睇緊啲咁嘅嘢喎， it's child pornography like is this acceptable? Do you still empathize with the character or do you agree that 其實佢係 deserve to be punished and blackmailed and all that？ So I always think it's a good thing to read 或者 expose yourself to things that make you reflect on 自己嘅 values and the extent of your empathy and where it ends. 我諗每個人都有一 set ideal 嘅 values， 即係有個 ideal self 咁樣。最近我經常會 come across 嘅一個 situation where 我要檢視自己 empathize 嘅能力，就係當香港越嚟越多人係講普通話嘅時候。I really hate the idea of hating on an entire population of people because of where they're from 又或者 the language they speak。 即係我覺得理智上我知道呢樣嘢係 problematic， 喺一個理想嘅世界裏邊 I guess 呢樣嘢係 you can't justify 呢一樣嘢，但係 reality 就係你見到呢啲人嘅 behavior 啦，你可能見過某啲人嘅態度啦，unwillingness to fit in or even try to 講廣東話啦，咁唯一我做嘅嘢，即係我逼我自己做嘅嘢就係 to see each of them as 一個 individual 啦。I do try， 我未必係做得最好嗰個啦，但係每個 individual 可能你 based on 佢嘅 own merits， 嘗試唔好喺佢未開口之前，又或者你根本未認識佢之前已經有某啲 assumptions 啦。咁 this is obviously easier said than done， 我自己都 I'm not exactly super proud of every single time 即係 the way I handle 呢啲 situations， but I do tend to remind 我自己即係 just to 嘗試 understand and consider 埋佢哋嘅 upbringing 啊 values education 啊 this and that。 以前中學咧或者小學嗰陣時，因為我 Catholic school， 我哋成日都會有啲keywords， 即係 like 啲 buzzwords as to 即係你要識呢啲 values 啊，即係例如咩 kindness 啊 faith 啊 hope 啊之類。 I guess I wouldn't have imagined the one that sticks with me the most， 又或者我而家最 prize 或者最 value 嘅一樣嘢，其實就係 empathy。 I don't think I have much to add， 但係 I do think it is a very very essential part of being a human being on this planet。 咁第三樣嘢 from 個 episode 我想講嘅其實就係 redemption， the power of redemption， the concept of redemption。 其中一個 quote 我覺得好 deserve 一個 recap 嘅 from 個 episode， 就係 when Ali 同 Rue 講話，因為 Rue 嗰陣時已經開始 ruminate 緊，開始覺得自己係 beyond forgiveness 啊，哎呀 what I did was unforgivable， 而 Ali 同佢講嘅就係佢覺得 to think that oneself is beyond forgiveness, that is way too harsh and way too easy. It allows you to keep doing exactly what you were doing without changing because you deserve it. There's no hope. You're beyond forgiveness. 而佢覺得呢個係正點解 the world keeps getting worse. 佢話 now you have a whole bunch of people running around who don't give a fuck about redemption, and that's scary. I'm not sure if 我係 the right person to add anything about redemption。 I'm not a religious person。 我覺得 define 呢隻字係有啲難嘅，因為佢 intrinsically 好似係帶有一啲宗教嘅色彩咁樣。就咁以我嘅理解，即係 redemption 同 forgiveness 嘅分別就係 when you say redemption there's an element of saving， 就好似要救贖 someone to rescue somebody 咁樣。但係 by who， 即係我諗 in the religious context by God 啦。咁 what about for people who don't believe in God? I guess instead of looking outward， 我哋亦都可以 look inward for redemption by ourselves。 真正嘅 redemption 係咪淨係可以 given by oneself 而唔係身邊嘅人？我諗 whatever the definition of redemption is， 又或者 whatever the word means to you， I really like what Ali said about 呢一個 concept， 因為 I do think that 要好似 Rue 咁樣好厭世咁樣話我好 unforgivable 啦，我已經 beyond forgiveness beyond redemption。 I do think this is an easy way out， 同埋佢好唔 productive。 It's like what John Green said about despair， 即係 the problem with despair 就係 number one it is the easy option， 好厭世覺得個 world 好 shit， it's always gonna be this shit， 所以我唔再 care about 呢啲 issues 啦。 It's much easier to say that than to 真係 develop 一啲 plans 去 make the world a better place， 又或者去真係 take action。 This is the second problem with despair， 就係佢會 lead to inaction。 就正如 Ali 話 thinking yourself is beyond forgiveness will lead to 啲人覺得冇原因去改變咯，所以唔改變，所以繼續 shit 落去。 And that's not exactly the best way out of 一個 dark place。 另一樣嘢就係我覺得當你覺得自己 beyond forgiveness 或者 redemption 嘅時候，其實呢個會 hinder 咗你 from properly truly evaluate 到究竟你呢啲行為有啲咩 consequences on 你嘅外在環境，包括身邊嘅人。我記得有一集好早期，應該係 season 1嚟嘅 from bojack horseman。 bojack 好 desperate 需要一個人同佢講，我覺得你係一個好人嚟嘅，我覺得 deep down 你係一個好人嚟嘅。咁之後當 Diane 即係佢個好朋友同佢一齊坐喺個天台度傾偈嘅時候， Diane 同 bojack 講，其實 I don't think I believe in deep down. I kind of think all you are is just the things that you do. 我好中意呢個 quote， 因為我諗我哋 tend to at least 我會啦，我都會 like to think that deep down 我係一個點點點嘅人， deep down 我係一個 caring 又或者一個 just 嘅人咁樣。咁但係個 problem 就係how much of 呢一啲 values get translated into 我 day-to-day 嘅 action 呢？所以我覺得呢個 quote serves as 一個好 helpful 嘅 reminder that what we are 又或者 who we are 其實係一個 sum of what we do in real life， 而唔係所謂嘅 deep down， 所謂嘅我覺得我係一個咩人。 We are the sum of our actions。 我諗關於 forgiveness 同埋 redemption， 我暫時講到呢度先。如果你有任何嘅諗法啊，又或者經歷想分享啊， feel free to reach out。 咁 juniper 嗰集我哋改咗個名叫做 You've Got to Believe in the Poetry 啦。其實呢個係一個 direct quote from euphoria 呢一集， and 我自己同埋 juniper 啦，我相信 for 佢都係，我好 moved by 呢一個 quote。The idea of believing in something greater than yourself， 唔 necessarily 係一個 God， 一個 human figure， 一個 religious figure。 It can be 一個 abstract 嘅，未必係一啲好實在嘅嘢，即係 like the sea 又或者 space or whatever， 可以係一個好 abstract 嘅 idea 或者 concept， 又或者純粹係 the human condition。Believing in mankind as a whole， 我哋嘅 endeavors， 我哋嘅 hopes， 我哋嘅 dreams， 我哋嘅 crushed dreams， 我哋嘅 struggles。Just something greater than yourself. And 我覺得呢句寫得好 poetic in itself. You've got to believe in the poetry. It happens to remind me of 一個我之前睇過嘅 poem， 我 bookmark 咗佢，叫做 Some Call It God by jabari asim。 jabari 佢自己有 perform 過呢一個 poem 啦，咁我喺度俾大家聽幾句。
I choose rhythm, the beginning as motion, black funk shaping itself in the time before time, dark, glorious, and nimble as a sperm sparkling its way into the greatest of grooves, conjuring worlds from dust and storm and primordial soup. I accept the funk as my holy savior. Funk so high you can't get over it, so wide you can't get around it. Ubiquitous funk that envelops all creatures great and small, quickens nerve endings and the white, hot hearts of stars.
其實佢主要個 concept 係佢話 in working toward 一個 constructive disruption of my idea of the divine, I'm embracing the notion of God as funk, an irresistible impulse to drop everything and move. I can think of few experiences holier than responding to rhythm. 我好 relate to 佢所講嘅嘢 as 一個 atheist and as someone who enjoys music quite a bit. 我好 appreciate 佢 challenge 究竟乜嘢係信仰，即係點解 it just so happens that 我哋呢個地球上面好多人所信嘅 God 或者 the divine， 點解 it has to be 一個 figure， they take the form of human beings， 即係點解要係一個咁 tangible 嘅 figure 咧？點解個 concept of the divine 唔可以係一個 abstract 嘅 idea？ Is it because 個 human brain we do tend to find it easier to believe in something tangible？ 有少少似話耶穌復活咗之後，啲門徒要摸佢隻手一個窿先至信佢係 actually there。 I love how 我諗我自己相信，即係 when people ask me if 我相信主或者 am I religious， I do tend to think that I like to believe in 一個 force greater than myself。 我暫時唔 subscribe to Christianity 或者 Catholicism， 但係 God as a concept I embrace with open arms。 所以 the question remains 就係咁 am I still an atheist? Do I qualify as an atheist? Actually the other day 我同 Jen 有 briefly 傾過 what does it mean to be an atheist？ 即係 most religious 嘅 people 都係淨係 subscribe to 一個 religion 嘅啫。咁 what about the rest of the 99 other religions？ 有冇一個所謂 degree of atheism？ Are there different facets or different kinds of atheists? I'm sure there are。 好耐之前睇落幾樣嘢我覺得好 interesting and worth sharing 就係唔知大家有冇聽過個飛天意粉怪 The Flying Spaghetti Monster 係一個 I'm just gonna 對住佢個 Wikipedia page 同大家講個 Flying Spaghetti Monster 其實係一個 social movement that promotes 一個 light-hearted view of religion 啦。佢一開始 originate 係 in response to public schools 嘅 teaching of intelligent design 啦。Intelligent design 係一個 pseudo-scientific argument for the existence of God 啦。It claims that the universe and the living things 係 best explained by 一個 intelligent cause 啦，而唔係undirected processes such as natural selection。 簡單啲嚟講 intelligent design 係一個 form of creationism。 It kind of proposes that 呢啲嘢係天主 design 嘅，冇理由係自己無啦啦進化論演化論咁樣變出嚟嘅咁樣。咁所以飛天意粉怪其實係一個 it kind of challenges 如果你係 public schools 度教 intelligent design 咁我 demand equal time in science classrooms for 呢個 flying spaghetti monsterism。 點解我唔可以係一個 legitimate 嘅宗教？點解唔喺學校教呢樣嘢？我知道我相信有好多人會有少少 offended by 呢一個 suggestion 啦，而佢哋亦都當然每日都收好多 hate mail 啦，尤其是 from 一啲信教嘅人。但係我自己覺得其實呢個係一個好好嘅 mental exercise。 It really challenges you to think what makes 一個 religion and 點解 majority 嘅人相信嘅天主係咁樣嘅模樣嘅？點解唔可以係個 flying spaghetti monster？What reason and argument and logic do you have? I just think it's always a good idea to challenge and be skeptical, stay skeptical. 我諗真正嘅信仰係可以經得起 critical thinking 同埋 skepticism. But back to the poem and back to the quote, 其實我諗 for me, I really relate to finding music 同埋 rhythm as 一個 greater force than yourself, something to believe in.And 我諗每個人都會有自己嘅一啲 variation 或者自己嘅一種 greater force that really moves you and impacts you. And 我係好同意 Ali 嘅講法，就係 whatever it is, whatever that something is, it's important that you find something to believe in. 因為好多時呢樣嘢就係 what keeps you afloat.It's going to help center you and remind you of who you are and remind you that there's something greater than yourself that 你可以 turn to, 你可以 believe in, 你可以 have faith in, even when you don't have faith in yourself. 我諗呢集都講到七七八八啦，咁但係喺完之前我都想 briefly 講一講一啲值得一提嘅 issues that was touched upon in 呢一個 episode 啦。其中一樣嘢我覺得好 stand out 嘅就係Ali 係一個好好嘅聆聽者，我覺得佢 demonstrate 得好好，即係 what qualities 一個 good listener should have。 有時當一個人揾你傾偈嘅時候，佢需要嘅未必係一啲好 practical 嘅 solutions 又或者建議，反而有時你坐喺度做一個好嘅聆聽者係 the best thing that you can do for that person。 Ali 好耐心咁樣聽 Ru 講啦，雖然佢都聽得出其實一開始佢講好多 bullshit 去敷衍佢，咁佢慢慢有耐性咁樣套佢講一啲心底嘅說話，真係願意去 face 佢嘅 true self 同埋 feelings 啦。佢就話 OK, now you're being honest, and it's from that point onwards that 佢哋兩個可以喺嗰個 diner 度有一個 meaningful 一個 open 嘅 conversation。 So I think much of being a good listener is just to create 一個 safe space for 對方去願意講出自己嘅心裏邊嘅諗法啦。因為好多時 as with so many things in life 都未必有一啲好 easy 嘅 solutions， 或者一啲好 helpful 好直接好黑白嘅一啲答案。咁而另一樣嘢 Ali 做得好好嘅就係佢冇逼 Ru 去 immediately 呢一刻就想 get clean 就想戒毒， 佢 demonstrate 咗一樣我哋喺 med school 嗰陣時都有學到嘅嘢 and I'm sure 所有任何讀 psychology 啊 education 啊都有機會接觸嘅一個 concept 就係 the stages of change 又或者叫做 the trans-theoretical model。佢一開始喺 the 1970s 嗰陣時 develop 出嚟呢，其實係想睇下究竟點樣去 motivate 到一啲 smokers 去成功 quit 到 smoking。咁佢哋發現一個好重要嘅因素就係你要首先知道個 smoker 究竟有幾 ready 去做呢樣嘢，去真係 quit。咁當你 accurately assess 咗呢一樣嘢之後，先至可以再 proceed to 進行一個合適嘅討論，同埋睇下究竟用咩 strategy 去鼓勵佢去 quit 咁樣。咁簡單啲嚟講，個 model 就 propose 有6個 stages of change 啦。第一個係 pre-contemplation， 即係連諗都未諗，唔 intend to 嘗試 quit 嘅。咁第二個 stage 就係 contemplation 啦，開始諗想去 quit 啦。第三就係 preparation， 當嗰個人覺得 ready 去真係 take action 啦，喺短期內。咁而第四個 stage 就係 action， 佢真係去作出改變，而佢有個 intention 去繼續嘅。咁第5個 stage 開始難啲啦，就係 maintenance。你即使 take 到 action， 但係你 maintain 唔到落去，你好快就放棄，咁都冇用噶。咁呢個 stage 嘅人就要 focus on 即係點樣可以 prevent 佢去 relapse 翻去之前嘅 bad behavior。呢個 concept 之所以重要，同埋之所以 Ali 做得好，就係因為 Rue 好明顯係喺個 pre-contemplation stage 嘅。如果 Ali 冇 assess 到呢一點，而佢去係咁喺度同 Rue 講話，哦，你要 quit 啊 ，it's so bad for you， 你個 life 會點點點。其實一個喺 pre-contemplation stage 嘅人係唔會聽得入耳，又或者甚至會好哽耳，令到 conversation 根本繼續唔到落去，變咗一個人單方面對住埲牆講嘢。所以 it was a really nice demonstration of how one utilizes 呢一個 stages of change 嘅 concept， 然後去好好 facilitate how you proceed with the conversation。第三樣值得一提嘅嘢就係 what Ali said about the mystery that is life。Somehow 我唔知點解 this keeps coming up in 我哋嘅 podcast episodes 啦，但係 the idea of having more questions than answers。喺個 episode 裏邊，我記得 juniper 都有 quote 到呢一句，就係 Ali 話佢同 Rue 講話 I don't know all the answers and I'm not going to pretend to, but I do know that at any given point that we're unable to see and comprehend the overall arc of human life. No person can see it. It's a mystery and will always remain a mystery. 喺呢度 before I end the episode， 我想同大家分享 John Green 喺佢其中一集 podcast episode 裏邊提過嘅一樣嘢，就係喺1916年嘅聖誕嗰陣時，已經 2 years into the war， 啲 soldiers in the trenches 已經開始好灰啦，大家開始見到 the devastating losses of the war， 開始用 poison gas， 開始唔知點解自己喺度，即係究竟為乜打緊仗，點解我喺度 suffer 緊。咁所以啲 soldiers 就開始唱一首歌 using the tune of Auld Lang Syne 啦，但係就用咗以下嘅歌詞 We're here because we're here because we're here because we're here。 咁其實係好反映係一種好 Sisyphetic 不斷每日重複嘅一種 helplessness 同埋一種 meaninglessness， 係一個好 hellish 嘅一種 repetition 嚟嘅。咁但係 John Green 同佢一個過咗身嘅朋友去睇呢首歌睇呢樣嘢嘅時候，佢哋反而 somehow 係 interpreted with 一種希望 there's hope in 一首咁 bland 嘅歌。佢哋覺得呢個係一個 statement that we are here, we exist, and despite life being difficult as it is, everything along the way that could have gone wrong， 即係我諗我做兒科其中一個最大嘅感想就係原來我哋由 BB 出世到可以順利入到幼稚園，入到小學，長大成人，去到而家，其實真係 overcome 咗好多好多關。所以 despite this series of everything that could go wrong, we are here. Somehow we are here. 我哋可能永遠都唔明，或者揾唔到個原因點解我哋喺度，但係我哋依然可以 proclaim and hope that we are here. I think this echoes with what Ali said about not knowing all the answers to life, and that it's fine because no matter what the reason is behind our existence, whatever mysterious ways the universe works in, we're here because we're here because we're here. As 一個 closing， 我諗我翻去個 title of 呢一個 euphoria 嘅 episode 啦，叫做 Trouble Don't Last Always。This is something that we've all lived through and know to be true by experience 啦 ，just by the fact that we are still here 我哋經歷過咁多嘅嘢 we somehow went through all of it and are still here。個 context of 呢一句 in the episode 係 when Ali posed 咗個 question to 一個老太太 who works at the diner， 佢話 What do you have to say to somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of hope？ 呢度我諗 Ali 係想睇下老太太會唔會有啲乜嘢 piece of wisdom 又或者 personal experience 去分享俾 Rue 聽啦，因為呢位老太太之前都 struggle 過 with a multitude of problems in life including drug addiction 啦。咁老太太諗咗一陣，佢話當佢細個嘅時候，佢 grandma 成日都同佢講一句説話，但係佢細個嘅時候從來都唔明咩意思 until 佢 ready to 戒毒嗰一刻。佢 grandma 所講嘅嗰句就係 Trouble don't last always， 而老太太 based on all of her life experience and what she has gone through 就覺得 they actually don't， and if you want to make a change that's up to you。咁我諗 I'll leave that as the ending of 呢一個 episode 啦。I do think 有時 when we're in a bad place we tend to forget that all this is temporary, that all this is gonna pass, and I guess 就係 during lady times when we could all use a little reminder from a friend or from a TV episode, as in this case from good dialogue, good writing, that trouble don't last always. It really doesn't。希望呢一集大家都聽得舒服啦。I look forward to the next. I'll see you soon.